Did you know that the cost between film and digital isn't actually that different? I added up the cost of equivalent cameras across the board. We have the Canon R3 and the Nikon F5. Both of these cameras capture a 36mm by 24mm exposure, and both are considered full-frame small format cameras. They are obviously different tools, but are both great in their own ways. When it comes to buying the cameras, we're looking at about $299 for a used Nikon F5 and $199 for a 50mm f1.8 lens. And if we look at the Canon R3, we can get a lens for $219, but the camera itself comes out to about $2,900 used, just shy of $3,000. Now, when we're talking about camera batteries for the Canon, it's $179 per battery. And when we look at the Nikon F5, it takes 8 AA batteries, and this only costs about $5.99. Now for the fun part, let's calculate the photo costs. Let's use 10,000 photos as a control. This is the average amount of photos that most people take in a lifetime unless you work for like Nat Geo or something. For a film camera, you can get a roll of 36 exposures of black and white for about $7.99. And for a roll of color, we're looking around $8.49 per roll. For digital in this case, we need an SD card that can hold 10,000 photos because we aren't factoring in any hard drives. And on top of that, you need to make sure that the SD card can read and write fast enough to keep up with these insane speeds. With film, I can put 10,000 35mm negatives on a shelf in my room and I don't have to spend any extra money. The cheapest SD card that I could find to hold all of these photos was an Angelbird 512GB Pro. It was a whopping $549.99. Now we're going to use the uncompressed photos because film is a raw medium. If we divide our control target of 10,000 photos by 36 exposures per roll of film, we get the amount of rolls needed to hit our target, and it's right around 278 rolls of film. Multiply that by our cost for black and white or C41 per roll, and you'll get the cost of our exposures before development. For black and white, we're looking at $2,221.22. And for color, we're looking at $2,360.22. For developing yourself at home, you're looking at roughly $1 to $3 per roll in chemistry. And for 278 rolls of film, you're looking at about $417 for chemicals. And you also need to have a Patterson tank and a dark bag, which is going to be right around $58.94 total, bringing our total developing cost to $475.94. After adding everything up, digital came out to $3,847.99, while in comparison, if you're shooting film on just black and white, $3,201.15, and if you're shooting color, it came out to $3,340.15. Film just feels more expensive because you continue to pay as you shoot and go through the analog process, but when shooting digital, you actually pay a lot more upfront, which is why it feels cheaper. If you enjoyed this and want to see more film content, follow for more.